he was telling me, Arnold's going to hate you because you're my friend. And
I remember one day I was walking to Gold's gym, and Mike's in the gutter, laying there like a drunken guy. Then he walked in when we were training and warming up, taking his pictures off the walls. I said to my training partner, Tony, if I ever get like that, keep the pictures stay on the wall.
Have you? I mean, what can you tell me about the 1980 Mr. Olympia with Mike and Arnold, and what happened there? And I mean, I read an interview by Mike that he did with Peter McGough, and he said to Peter McGough that he was not affected anymore about this situation and everything. But I could tell when he spoke to me, he really was, you know, and he was telling me, Arnold's going to hate you because you're my friend, and all this stuff. And what do you think about what happened at the contest, and what do you think about the outcome, let's say?
Well, 1980 was my second Olympia. So I was just starting to get my feet wet. 79 was my first Olympia. 1980, my second Olympia in Australia, you know, and Arnold, I saw him every day in the gym. He's looking better and better and better. And so I started wondering, oh, something's up here. He's not getting in that kind of shape just for a movie. There's something going on here. So I knew there was something. And then when he showed up on the plane too, I'm like, aha, okay. So I sort of expected him to do that. May he rest in peace. Mike was a great guy. Mike was very good to me. Mike Mentzer. He would say, Tom, here before the 81 Olympia, here's the keys to my condo in Palm Springs. Go get some sun. Whatever you need, man. You know, he was very helpful to all the guys were. All the guys. Mike was especially helpful. But I think what Mike carried was the bitterness of losing to Arnold. To him, it was not subjective. And it was not a subjective sport, you know, and it was supposed to be accurate in what's the word I'm looking for? Objective.
Yeah.
Okay. And according to the criteria that he had, he should be the winner. And granted, he could have won that night. He was good. You know, I don't think he was really the best. He was pretty close to where his best. And he could have won. It's like Muhammad Ali coming back, you know, like they're going to give him, they're going to throw it his way probably. And so I sort of suspected they would do that to Arnold. Arnold was good in a few shots. You know, that mantis pose, some of those poses, like double bicep, he was good. It's like made you remember the Arnold of the 74. Okay. And sometimes you win when you're not supposed to. Sometimes you don't win when you're supposed to. And that's the way I sort of looked at it.
It is subjective, though. I mean, that's a fact, right? It's a subjective sport. We all know that.
Yeah. I just wish that Mike could have said, all right, Arnold, congratulations. 81, I'm like, I had the option, a split second decision. Should I punch Franco in the face? Should I walk off stage with the rest of the guys? Should I congratulate him? And for some reason, God put it in my head, go over and say, congratulate Franco. And, you know, I'm not that I'm that great of a sportsman. It just, it felt like it was the right thing to do at that time. I think if Mike would have said, Arnold, I don't know how the fuck he did it, man, but hey, great job. I'll see you next year. And Mike would have been Mr. Olympia. Probably not the next year, because Franco was there, but it probably in 82, in 82. But I think Mike could have. I
don't really have a strong opinion on it myself. Watching some video footage, very little, I think, but pictures, because it's hard to say. But what struck me is Arnold's stature. Like on the stage, he's taller and he's wider, and he got that, you know, armor-plated chest and everything. So just standing there, I was like, wow, Mike looks a bit small. Like, he looks a bit narrow. Like, his frame is not a big... Arnold's a big man. There's not a big man next to him. That's all I noticed. I don't know if that was enough to carry it, plus Arnold's name and charisma and all.
Well, there you go. There you check, boom. Okay. Yeah. And I mean, you know, Arnold was very good to me and very helpful and gave me pointers and, you know, and threw work my way, if you will. I took a little bit of everybody that I learned from, a little bit of them, you know, a little bit of Ed Corney, a little bit of Arnold, a little bit of Mike, and put it together into what makes us. You know, I'm sure you did the same thing.
I did the same thing. I did Rich Gaspari writing all the, you know, I started a thing in England because I read Rich Gaspari was eating baby food after his workout because it was a, you know, quick, convenient carb, a little baby food. So I started eating that in the gym, and virtually within a couple of months, every gym in England got guys sitting down eating baby food after the workout. So we're all influenced by others.
I mean, it's amazing how that is. We did the same thing when we were younger, coming up, but that the 80 Olympia got such bad publicity. I think Arnold's just like, okay, next project, movie. And he just dusted himself off and kept going. And that's what I saw. I'm like, wow, here's a guy who could have fell on his face.
Yeah.
And he got up and said, I'm still the king. Let me show you.
Okay, well, let's move on. I mean, yeah, Mike, I did some training with Mike, and of course he was like one of my idols, like yourself, before I started training. And I was just surprised that he was not taking care of himself physically. Like, he wasn't in shape, which I like. Okay, you're not going to be a hardcore bodybuilder all your life, but surely if you're used to training and going to the gym, that's just something you're going to always do, I would assume.
Not to talk about negative things. Remember one day I was walking to Gold's Gym, and Mike's in the gutter laying there like a drunken guy. I'm like, oh my God, Mike. He didn't hear me. I'm like, then he walked in when we were training and warming up, taking his pictures off the walls. I said to my training partner, Tony, if I ever get like that, keep the pictures, stay on the wall. Okay, don't let me do that. I was sort of making a joke, but I felt so sad for Mike. I'm like, Mike, and then he sort of got a little better, and he's sitting outside smoking a cigarette. I'm
like, always between his clients. He'd train a client, come outside and smoke cigarettes.
And as much as it was funny and I laughed at him, like, I was worried about him. I'm like, wow, Mike, he was the guy that, he intellectual, the guy that was the scientist. He had a great mind. I'm like, what a great bodybuilder. That's the way we should be, the epitome of what a bodybuilder is all about. And we all have issues, and unfortunately, Mike and his brother both passed away very quickly there.
Yeah, I was friendly with Mike, and then we were going to do some clothing together, and him and Ray, they had this strange relationship. Ray was telling me that Mike wasn't the one to like come up with the heavy duty, and it was him, and there was always, this stuff going on.
I guess the feeling I have is good always beats the crap out of evil, no matter what.
Yeah, eventually.
And you eventually win. 81, I didn't win the Sandow, but I had a great, great life, and and I thank God. Okay, and sometimes it's not exactly a facsimile of your vision as it was with you, probably exactly the vision you had, but goodness always prevails. Right always wins. Evil dies, and that's been the history of the world. And I think it's in sport, it's in politics right now, which I'm very interested in, and I just can't stop looking at it and going, man, we got to do. What can we do? And I go to a Trump event. I'm like, it feels so righteous. I'm like, wow, yeah, I'll say it. And a lot of our viewers will hate me because I like Trump, but I do. I think Trump's going to save the USA. Okay, I think he has. But I'll stop there. I'm sorry.